let's quickly talk about the concept of FTTx. It's obvious that most of the fiber engineers didn't know the concept of FTTx. How is it this FTTx is somehow important to us? What is F? What is T? What is T? And what is the X in this FTTx? And we will try to talk about the type of optical fiber cable, the structures of optical fiber cable, the single mode and the multi-mode, and the major difference between the single mode and the multi-mode. Then let's back to the F. I talk about the FTTx. The F simply means the fiber. Then T is 2. Then the second T is then the X. Then let's talk about the X aspect of it. That is why you will see that in many if you make a research or Google search, you will see if you type FTTx, they will try to explain based on the X, not based on the FTT. Then the F is the fiber, the optical fiber, generally optical fiber, where I'll take my time to explain the fiber called the optical fibers. And now let's talk about the X. What is the X aspect of this FTTx? The X is the general terms used for any broadband network architecture using optical fiber cable, and it is also a collective term, or it is a terms used in a laying of optical fiber cable for one point to another, that is from point A to point B. Let's forget about the English and let's come to let's try to emphasize on it practically. The X simply means the laying of the optical fiber cable from one point to another. For an example, if you want us to deploy internet for you and we decided not to use the radio, we decided to use what we call this the cable called fiber, the optical fiber cable. So it is the laying of the cable for one point, which means from the site to the customer end or to the end user. Then this X now depends on where the optical fiber cable was dropped. That is why we have the FTTB, FTTH, FTTA and FTTN. It depends, in which I will take my time to explain all those things called FTTH, FTTB, FTTA and other. And this means the X aspect of the FTTX is where the optical fiber was laid or dropped, is the end point from the cell site to the end user or the end point. The end point now will determine the name that we will call it. Then the FTTx, I talk about the F. I said the F means the fiber. Then what are the type of the fiber do we have? We have the single mode and the multi-mode. That is the two. But practically when you want to go deep into these things, we know that the multi-mode can also be divided into two. We have the first multi-mode and the second multi-mode. And nowadays, even the single mode is also divided into two based on the core diameter. So, but let's agree that we have the two type of the fiber, the multi-mode and the single mode. How can you easily identify the fiber? Maybe it's a multi-mode or single mode. And we know that in optical fiber cable, there are many things that are common, but it depends on the manufacturers, the company. For an example, in optical fiber cable, we have what we call the outer jackets, we have steel tape armor, we have rip cord, we have water soluble tape, we have boulevard tube, we have central member, and different things, even different name, depending on the companies and even the country that's manufacturing it. But there are three things I want you to focus attention on in this optical fiber cable. These three things are called cutting. Number one are called cutting. number 2 are called claddings, and number 3 are called core. And these 3 things are very important, and even physically, I'm talking practically, with these 3 things called cuttings, claddings, and core, you can easily identify the multi-mode and the single mode. And know that in these things, the multi-mode have power to transmit the power to the different direction. That is why it cannot go for a long distance, while in a single mode have power to transmit the power in a straight line. That's why you have the power, the ability to go far. In the multi-mode and the fiber mode, the core in the single mode are just 50, something like 50 diameter. Cladding is 125. So that's why you will see that in some diagrams, core are different, the claddings are the same, and even the cuttings are the same diameter. I'm talking about the diameter aspect of it. We'll try to stop here. In our next video, we will continue tutorials of FTTx. We continue with it, where we talk about the type of FTTx and others important things, both the practicals and the theoretical aspects. Please stay connected. Please stay connected for more.